How's it going, folks? So today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the new album from Volturian, and the name of this album is Red Dragon. And y'all know it. Before I get into that nitty gritty, I like to check out the cover. So boom, check it out. There it is. I have a very complicated relationship with this cover, to be 100% honest with y'all. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of like on the fence, in all aspects of it, to be honest. I kind of like the cover. It's simple. It definitely catches the eye, with the red. It's very striking with that red color. And it almost looks like this lady is some kind of a fallen angel or something, because as she's laying there, this is just what I imagine or what I see when I look at this. I see her like laying on the ground, and it looks like there's shadows, or there's some kind of essence or ash, maybe even, or just marks of where her wings used to be. So I kind of get that impression from looking at it. Again, I could be completely off base, but that's just my impression when I look at that she's some kind of fallen angel. It's got a very dark vibe, and things like that. It's relatively simple, and so I'm not 100% sure. It's hard for me to even say how I feel about it aesthetically. I mean, it looks kind of cool, like I said, that striking red color, and then just kind of looking into, if were those wings there, or are they burned? Is she a fallen angel? So it's kind of cool as far as conveying what you're going to get on the album. If you just were looking in the record shop, you see that cover, you've never heard of them before. There's another tricky one for me, because I feel like it looks very dark, and I feel like it gives the impression that it's a much darker, heavier album than it really is. I'm not quite sure what impression you might get, some kind of death metal perhaps, or, it's really hard to say, or even like metalcore, but this is more of a, I don't even want to say symphonic metal. It's more of a, what I would say is like a melodic electronic metal, per se. So I don't know if that cover really conveys what you're going to get on the album. Even if you were to think it's like a symphonic metal, I feel like you would think it's kind of a heavier, grittier kind of album, just because of the cover. But yeah, that's just really my take on the cover there. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. Anywho, let's talk about the album itself now. It's got 10 songs on this bad boy, and it comes in at about 38 minutes. 38 minutes, yes, this is a very brisk, it moves quickly. This album here, it moves at a brisk pace. But as I said before, I would really kind of classify this as like a melodic electronic metal, not so much as like a symphonic metal or anything like that. So really what you're going to get here is a mix, an interesting mix of, you get some songs that are more, that just like the metal style, where you have like the guitar and the traditional drums and all of that kind of stuff. But then you have songs that kind of a combination. You get the guitar and traditional drums and all that, but you get this real kind of electronic type of sound in the background. I don't know whether it's being done with a keyboard, or whether it's like programmed, or it's however they're doing it, just with like the computer, or again, or if they're doing it on the keyboard, or I'm not sure, because it's really got like an electronic, almost dance kind of sound to it, in spots. So that's really interesting. And then there's one song in particular, and then a couple of just like the more, like the intro song and stuff like that, are much more just heavy on the electronics. So you kind of have all three of those, all throughout the album, which is nice. Which is nice, because if it keeps things interesting. You're not just always like, okay, here comes another song where it's just going to start out electronic, and then you get the guitars, and or like, oh, this is just gonna be a guitar-based song. You don't know. It's a nice mix here, and again, the album does not overstay its welcome. I mean, it moves quick. Like I said, 30 minutes. So they're not messing around here. The vocals, I gotta highlight. The vocals are really, really, really great. She has a really nice voice, really great range. More of a not too like really in your face kind of a voice. Although there's one song where there are spots where she kind of highlights. She's got like a darker side to her voice, I guess you could say. But for the most part, it's relatively light and relatively is very melodic, and it suits the music very, very well. So I really, really enjoyed the vocals. The electronic work on here is just, oh man, oh, it's so good. The keyboards, all that, the electronic sound, I love it. I've told you folks that, I love when there's some electronic kind of beats and stuff mixed in with the metal or symphonic metal or what have you. I like the band Melodic, and I feel like they're at their best when they go heavy on the electronics. And I feel the same way here. I feel like that Volturian, at least on this album, is even more a little heavy on the electronic dance, beat kind of thing than Melodic, but they also have a edgier side also than Melodic, because the guitars are very heavy. Yeah, I would say that's the heaviest part of the album. The guitar riffs tend to be very hard and heavy, and really kind of give you that heavy metal kind of sound, just that rock metal sound. Whereas a lot of the rest, especially with like the electronic beats and all that stuff, is more playful, more just rhythmic and whatnot. But the guitars is really there to kind of like I think keep things grounded, so to speak. But anywho, yeah, the guitar work, I really enjoyed the guitar work. The riffs and everything were nice and heavy, and there's some good just riffs and melodies in there. Really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the drums too. There's one track in particular where the drum work is just wild, goes really, really hard and heavy on the drums, which was really neat. So yeah, I really enjoyed the musicianship of the album. I really liked the vocals, and I really liked the style a lot. I was pleasantly surprised with that style, especially with the electronic beats and all that stuff. So, I mean, it kind of starts out here with Rebirth, where it's really kind of electronic, kind of sets the mood a little bit, and it segues right into Stay, which is track 2, which is one of those songs I would say is like a mix. It kind of starts out with more of the guitars and the metal, but in the background you can hear like the electronic, stuff kind of spicing things up a smidge. You get track 3, Harley, which in my opinion is a masterpiece. I love this song. It's one of the darker songs, both vocally and musically. It's got really kind of a dark vibe to it, but a very, it's kind of hard to say. It's dark, but also almost playful in a sense. Like, it's not just like dark, 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 but yeah, I really, really love this song. Just the way it's arranged and the style. It's just really, really great. Really catchy. I dig this song big time. And then there's 2 what I consider masterpieces on this album. The second one is track 5, Torn Asunder. That one now is the most electronic track on the album. I mean, even the drums are electronic and everything. And this is where I was just like in heaven, because it mixed, really, that's one thing about this album, is it mixes 2 of my favorite things. Early to mid 2000s female fronted symphonic metal, that's really when I kind of got into Within Temptation and, stuff like that. And early to mid 2000s electronic dance music. So this album really kind of combines the 2, and it's really, really great. You know, those are the kind of sounds that it has. And the song Torn Asunder is so good. It's like a perfect mash of the two. And it's really, really heavy on the electronic kind of dance beats. It's sick. It's just sick. I love it. And then Burn It Up kind of takes it up a notch again. Um, so, yeah, I mean, really the whole album and it just kind of it closes out really well the whole rest of the tracks and it just really really solid. Like I said, I really enjoyed this, you know, from start to finish. You know, it's not really something I would say is going to blow anybody's mind or anything like that, but it's just very very solid, and it was a nice treat for me because I didn't quite know what to expect, and getting that added, you know, the electronic vibes and stuff just really, really tickled me. And they did it in a very, very classy way. You know, it doesn't feel forced or anything. Everything feels very natural. The mixing is very solid, and you know, the production is nice. So yeah, it's just a very, very solid, well-rounded, female-fronted melodic electronic metal. That's really the best way that I could say it. So yeah, I mean, if any of that sounds good to you, you don't miss it. Or even if you just like female-fronted metal, symphonic metal, melodic metal, stuff like that. All right, you know, I really think there's something here for you, for sure. And y'all know how I like to give you one song. If you're just going to give the album one chance and you want me to tell you one song that to listen to decide if you want to hear the whole thing or not, it's kind of hard to say, and I really had to kind of think about it and listen to a lot of the songs multiple times to really make up my mind. But I think track 2, Stay, would be the best one to go with because I think that one honestly gives the best, you know, it encapsulates the whole album and the sound of it the best with the mix of that, the more like melodic metal with the electronic. It's not like leaning more one way than the other so much. It is more of like a mix. So it just gives you a good indication of kind of what you can expect throughout the whole thing. But you know, other than that, I highly recommend Harley and Torn Asunder because, like I said, both of those to me are just masterpieces. But I also loved a lot of these songs. I actually also added Stay and track 6, Burn It Up, to a playlist as well. So it's a lot to like, and yeah, it's brisk. You know, it just moves quickly. You know, 38 minutes, and you'll probably just want to start it over because you know that's what I did. It really, really enjoyable. That's what I got for you folks. If you've listened to this album already, let me know what you thought of it. Or if you haven't, let me know if you're gonna. Or, you know, whatever. Let me know something. Anything, you know. So I'll talk to y'all down in the comments, and I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. This was Volturian with their latest album, Red Dragon. I enjoyed it very, very much. So I'll catch y'all next time. Ranger, out.